Imagine the shockwave that rippled through the fandom when Vin Diesel dropped the news. Brian O'Connor will return for the grand finale of Fast and Furious, the epic send-off for the Toretto saga. But wait, how is that possible? Paul Walker, the actor who brought Brian to life, tragically passed away over a decade ago. The very idea sounds wild, but if there's one thing this franchise is known for, it's defying expectations and pushing boundaries, both on and off the screen. Just a few days ago, Vin Diesel, forever the face of Dominic Toretto, revealed some tantalizing details about Fast and Furious 11, or as some call it, the second part of the 10th installment. According to him, the movie is set for release in the year 2027, but there are a few conditions that must be met to make everything work out. The biggest bombshell? Brian O'Connor's return is essential for the saga's conclusion. For those who might not remember, Paul Walker, who played Brian, lost his life in a car accident back in 2013, right in the middle of filming Fast and Furious 7. That moment marked not just a turning point for the franchise, but also for fans and creators alike. Instead of taking the obvious route and writing Brian out of the story permanently, the filmmakers chose a different path. Brian didn't die in the Fast universe. He simply retired, stepping away from the action but always remaining a presence in the background. Now, with the promise of his return, the question isn't just if it can be done, but how. The truth is, this isn't uncharted territory for the Fast and Furious crew. When Paul Walker passed away in November 2013 during a charity event in California, the production team faced an unprecedented challenge. Paul and his friend Roger Rodas were involved in a devastating crash, and both lost their lives instantly. Filming for Fast and Furious 7 was immediately halted as everyone grappled with the loss and tried to figure out the next steps. The solution they found was nothing short of groundbreaking. They used a mix of unused footage, CGI, and even brought in Paul's brothers as body doubles, digitally mapping Paul's face onto theirs. The result was so seamless that most viewers couldn't tell where reality ended and digital wizardry began. With today's technology, the possibilities are even greater. Back then, the story was gently resolved with a heartfelt narration from Dom Toretto, as Brian and Dom shared one last drive before Brian retired to a peaceful life with his family. Even in Fast and Furious 9, Brian's presence was felt. His car parked outside, a silent nod to his ongoing story. It was a touching way to honor Paul's memory without erasing Brian from the world he helped build. Bringing Brian back for the final chapter isn't just a narrative decision, it's a tribute to everything the character and Paul Walker have meant to fans. Brian's journey is legendary. The undercover cop who becomes Dom's closest friend, leaves the police behind, joins the FBI, and ultimately chooses family over chaos. As the saga nears its conclusion, it makes perfect sense for Brian to rejoin the fray, especially with the villain Dante, played by Jason Momoa, seeking revenge against the entire Toretto family. Brian's involvement in the legendary vault heist from Fast and Furious 5 makes him just as much a target as anyone else, giving him every reason to return and stand beside Dom one last time. Of course, the logistics are daunting. Vin Diesel hinted that Brian's role might be more than just a fleeting cameo. If the filmmakers go all in with CGI, it could take an enormous amount of time and money, and there's always the risk that the effect might not capture the same magic as before. Fast and Furious is known for its larger-than-life ambitions, so nothing is off the table. Still, it's a high-stakes gamble, one that could either become a historic cinematic moment or risk overshadowing the entire saga if it doesn't land perfectly. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the Fast and Furious universe, take a moment to subscribe and let me know in the comments which country or region you're watching from. Your support keeps this community racing forward. There are so many questions swirling around this decision. Will Brian appear throughout the whole film, or just in a key scene? Will advanced AI and deepfake technology finally make it possible to see Paul Walker's likeness in a way that feels both respectful and real? Is this the right move, or has the time passed for such a return? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear: the stakes have never been higher for Universal Studios. If it works, it will be legendary. Fans everywhere will flock to theaters for a piece of history. If not, It could be a bittersweet ending to a saga that has defined a generation. What do you think about Brian's possible return? Would you like to see Paul Walker's legacy honored with a digital comeback, or do you feel it's time to let the character rest? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. I'm eager to hear your take on this emotional crossroads for one of cinema's most beloved franchises.